Welcome back to From Strumming to Streaming, where we go over everything you need to know to turn your song into a professional sounding track. Today, we're going to take a look at the tuning software Melodyne, a fantastic option for when you need just some light tuning touches, or if you need to get into the weeds with some vocals that need some serious tuning love, or both. Let's dive in. All right, welcome to this brief tutorial on how to use Melodyne. It's a super powerful tool. You can really dig into every aspect, every kind of little facet of the vocals and adjust at a very granular level. Also, it gives a nice overall sharpening to the tuning of the vocals. I'll show you kind of the ins and outs of that in a minute. As usual, I'll go over the setup we have here on screen. I've got this track with a full song's worth of vocals, verse, chorus, etc. We'll probably just work with one section kind of towards the beginning here. I've got Melodyne plugin set, ready to go. And then down here, I have another track, as you can see, called Tune Vocals, because what we're going to do is we're going to tune using Melodyne on this track, and then we're going to print those tuned vocals onto another track. Now, the reason for this is when you use Melodyne, Melodyne overrides the audio file. It might be easier for me to show you this. So if I play this back, Melodyne's not in use right now. I just want to find my place among the stars. Cool. Now let's say I delete that and I play it back. Lead vocal is gone. I deleted it. You could hear some harmonies in the background there. Now let's tune that section or apply Melodyne to that section. What we do to capture a bit of audio for Melodyne is this transfer button right here. Click that. That'll turn red, and then you just hit play back and it will capture that. I just want to find my place among the stars. Cool, so we've got our vocals captured in here. I'm going to close this out, still active, just closing out the plugin here. Now I'm going to delete this. I just want to find my place among the stars. Still there. So that's what I was getting at here is what we've printed here in Melodyne, that is going to play back regardless of what is on the track itself. So say we tuned everything and then we went in and we tuned the harmonies, same method, and we try to vocal line it. If we move around the waveform, it's not going to move in playback because the Melodyne is overriding anything we do here. Say I bypass it and I kind of like really mess it up like that. You know, chop it up here, playback. It's all screwed up. Now I'm going to put Melodyne back on. Overriding it. So if that movement of the audio that I did was something I was actually trying to do, like using vocal line, it would just completely be bypassed. So once we get these all dialed in, we print it on the next track down here. So let's pop Melodyne back open, and you can see our singer is pretty solid, pretty consistent with the notes he's hitting. There's not a ton of need for tuning this, but it is a good, clean audio track that I thought would be worthwhile for this demo. So I'll just kind of run you through the tools, the various options you have here for tuning. So say with a track like this, overall it's pretty tight, it's pretty tuned, and you just want to kind of put a little bit of finish polish on it, if you will. What you can do is click, drag, select all of the notes. Now this button here, this gives you two options. You can center the pitch, and you can center the pitch drift. So pitch center, what that's going to do, if you can see, it's moving the notes to the center of the note that they're already on. So this D right here is a little bit flat. If you center it, it pops it right up into the center. This pitch drift here, what this is going to do is it's going to center the lines themselves within the note. So let's take a look at this right here, this last E note, because that's the one that's going to move the most. We'll zoom in a little bit and do that again. To zoom in, you kind of can just use two fingers, like you would normally zoom on a laptop. I find that to be the easiest. So let me pop that back open, or let me just select that note actually. So to deselect, you can just click outside, select that, open this again, and you can see it's just moving the lines themselves closer to the pitch center versus, or closer to the note center versus the pitch center moves the entire chunk. All right, one other helpful tool here is, say, let's say you see he kind of scoops down into this D. I think that works with the track itself, but say we wanted to kind of remove some of that scoop. What we could do here is split this note and kind of pull some of this down. So as you can see here, it's straight along the D, it's kind of centered, but the scoop kind of starts going up just to the left of that. So if you take your mouse, you hover it right, just kind of like right below, you'll have to play around because it can be kind of finicky, but just right below kind of where the top of that note cloud is, you'll see it switch to this icon. And if you double click, it will split the note right there. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to kind of go over a little more. And here I've split it, and now I can move it. Now as you can see, it's trying to snap to a different note. So what you want to do is hold down the Option key and drag. And you can zoom in even further. Again, 2 fingers just kind of moving apart as you would normally. And, you know, let's say we can split it maybe right here. Do the same thing, hold down Option. Cool. Now that note is pretty much dead center on the D, and we've eliminated the majority of that scoop. I'm going to tighten it a little more and play that back for you. I just want to find my place among the stars. So you can hear that scoop's kind of eliminated there. I'm going to undo that. Oops. But yeah, one other note, careful when you hit undo. For whatever reason, a lot of the time it's just going to undo what's going on back here. So if I hit undo, it's undoing everything I did, excuse me, to the waveform. So if you want to undo something in Melodyne, you're often going to have to go edit undo. So I'm going to leave that there because I like that scoop. But if I had wanted to get rid of it, I could use that splitting tool and kind of manually tighten it. And that's where Melodyne really shines when compared to a lot of the other tuning software tools and plugins, is you can get super granular with it. So yeah, one last thing I'll show you before we wrap. These tools up here, this is going to allow you to just kind of move the entire screen around. This will allow you to kind of get a little more in depth with your zooming. If you click and hold and scroll up, it's going to bring a wider range of notes into view. If you go down, it's going to enlarge what you already have here. So click, hold down. I can zoom all the way in just to kind of this E if I really want to. And then if you go left, shorten it, and you can see more of the song, or more of the notes here. If you go, oop, lost it. If you go right, you can get, you know, super close in here. So down and right, zooming in, and up and left, zooming out. And then this is the tool, the pointer tool is the one you're going to use to move the notes around. And again, to split, just hover until you see that just above the note, or below the top of the cloud, the note cloud. If you see this appear, go ahead and double click, and that can split the notes for you. And then you can move part of the note rather than the whole thing. And in order to move it just slightly within the note without having it snap to grid or note grid, hold the Option key. Move it all around. So there you have it. It's quick, brief tutorial on Melodyne. That's pretty much all the tools you'd be using in there. We can get in more depth if you guys want it in a later video. I'm going to go ahead and show you this last step here before we wrap. I'm going to print these onto this track. So this is pretty straightforward. You may very well already know how to do this, so you can just peace out if you do. If you don't, I'll make it short and easy. We have the input for this track as bus 128. I chose one all the way at the end so we're not accidentally routing through a reverb channel or something, because I've got a lot of aux sends for reverb and delay here. So I went down for the input for this track. I chose the one all the way at the bottom. So now we're gonna make the output for our tuned, or for the track that we were working on that we tuned, bus 128. So now this is routing this track, boom, right into here. I'll pop the mix on as well, so we can hear what that sounds like mixed. So now what we do is we just record, enable that, hit record, and
I just wanna find my place among the stars.
boom, there you have it. You would, in theory, do the entire track or whatever you want to do, and then once you're done with this, you can just, hide and make that inactive, and we have what we need right here.
I just wanna find my place among the stars.
Tuned, ready to go. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I hope you found something useful in that. If you have any questions, let me know below in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for fresh bi-weekly content updates. Till next time.
Liberated, I guess you made